Hello, First 21 ladies. My name is Caitlin. I have been in a handful of First 21 groups, and I've also been leading First 21 groups for about the past year. So I kind of know how the flow goes, where you're at any given time during the group. When I began my First 21, I was filled with so much anxiety all the time, but I wasn't really living this like hustle lifestyle that I felt like was necessary in order for me to actually feel like I deserve to be that frantic or hectic or like anxious. I was just feeling this level of anxiety that I didn't really know where it was coming from. And I've realized now, having stepped away from social media, from phone usage, particularly for our First 21 groups, that's a big piece of what you're learning to do here is you're learning how to be still in your heart and not just be so connected all the time to what's going on in the world through your phone. So what I've realized is that all of this anxiety was attached to the need to feel like I had to be attached to my phone, like I had to know what was going on, like I had to be constantly engaged, even to the degree of whenever I would encounter an event or a circumstance or like my life was just filtered through social media. So I would have a normal thing happen in my day and I would immediately not just be acknowledging that moment. I would think, oh, what should I post about this? How should I take a photo of this? You know, all of life was kind of filtered through a grid of my phone. You know, if you were literally only viewing your life through the lens of your actual phone camera, that's kind of where a lot of us live, and we don't recognize that we're really missing out on a lot of life. And it's just so easy to spend like hours and hours on your phone and wonder, what did you do? To get frustrated by that. I've been there. So I just want to give you some practical tips today. I know that you either have been or will be in this group really encountering a refreshing of your spirit as you honor the Lord by stepping away, figuring out how to step away from, just being so overwhelmed with your phone, even beyond the phone with what's going on in the world, with the news, maybe with other people's opinions. That's just noise. It's chaos, and it just kind of clogs up our hearts where we can't really rest, be so restful that we can just connect with the Lord. We rest in His presence. Honestly, this summer, I've taken the whole summer. The entire 2020 year has been about pulling away. I knew going into the year that I wanted to learn how to become like a pro at being still, at doing less, at being quiet, at being focused. And it's been quite a year, to be honest. And I'm so glad that I had the First 21 foundation going into 2020. Otherwise, I think that what was going on in the world would have just dragged me around like a dead body all over the place. But I feel like I know how to find what we'll say our center, just be at peace with the Lord because I've pulled away from the phone. So that's kind of my story. The phone has been huge. Social media used to run my life, and now I'm barely on it. I've deleted Facebook, don't care about it, rarely ever use Instagram, just whatever about it. And I've changed the way I'm on my phone to where it just gives me so much more life. So here's some very practical steps that you can take to begin experiencing more freedom and not feel like you have to say no to being a part of maybe social media that you want to be a part of, but just here's ways that it won't control your life going forward. So you can set app limits. Maybe this is new information to you, maybe you've used it before and it's frustrating, but just honor those limits in your iPhone, probably in other phones as well. You can set specific app limits where you can have just general social media or specifically Instagram or Facebook. Maybe you only want to allow yourself 30 minutes a day on there. And when you get on there, you can just try to be a little intentional because you have a set limit of time. So you can set app limits on your phone. You can also, what I have done and found to be extremely helpful is on the weekends, I completely delete those apps from my phone. It's very easy to re-download and log in. You can even have those apps save your password, so it's like not even a thing to re-download and log back into them. But just not even having them on your phone feels like it creates so much space between you and even the possibility of you being on your phone and being engaged. So it just allows you to even that much more in your heart pull away from being on your phone. Or even if you have the crazy thumb where you automatically open up your phone, you swipe over, you click into where your app should be, and you're like, oh wait, what am I doing? My app isn't even here. Why is my phone in my hand? It's almost like you black out and you just start going through the motions of getting onto something or checking. For me, I know the First 21, the biggest thing is I would just open my phone and I'd be like, I just feel like I need to check something, but I have nothing to check because I've deleted email from my phone. I've deleted social media. I don't know what to check. So I would just sit there and stare at my phone until I figured I probably needed to get off because there's no reason why I should be on my phone. But I just felt like I needed to check something. That's a very normal thing to feel. You're not crazy and you can overcome that. Also, there are certain things that we can do on our laptops. Instagram has become so much more user-friendly on a laptop. So now you can log in and do things like message people, check your posts. You can use a scheduler app for Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, so that where you can go ahead and pre-schedule those posts to go out. So you don't even have to be logging in to make those posts. And you can monitor everything from your laptop. I'm a big advisor. I advise you to do this. I think this is a great thing for you to, anything you can do on a laptop, do it on a laptop and don't have your phone. There is something that it just feels more chaotic. Sorry, I'm losing the sunlight here, so I know I'm getting dark. There is just something that feels more chaotic when you're trying to do things on your phone. There's more things that can notify you or pop up. You can always turn off those notifications and the badge icon so that when you see 10 unread emails or certain unread messages or notifications on Instagram, you don't feel compelled to get into the app. But still, if it's not even on your phone and you can, if you're work from home or in the office, like don't have email on your phone if you're around a laptop where you can just get on there and check your email on your laptop. There's so much more intentionality there. And when you just have your phone, you may think there's nothing wrong with hopping on your phone to check an email. Sure, there's not. But you know it's not going to be hopping on your phone to check that one email. Then you get a text, then you see something else, then a social media notification comes through. Then you remember you had to shop online for that one thing. So you open up a browser and your phone. It's like, yeah, those things can also happen on a laptop, but they less often happen on a laptop. I think when you sit down at a laptop, you feel like you're there with a purpose and to accomplish something. So it just is a little bit easier to navigate that and control those boundaries than when you're on your phone. So I highly suggest that. That was a huge thing I did. Even YouTube. I've re-downloaded that now just so I can listen to some of the sermons and teachings or maybe, longer worship videos as I drive and stuff. But what I did was I put that on my iPad because when I was sitting in a bath or hanging out in the house and I wanted to watch a YouTube video, instead of just always being on my phone, I could intentionally pull up that video on the YouTube app on an iPad or even on my laptop, watch it and then be done instead of just constantly feeling like, well, I can pick my phone up and take it anywhere with me. And it's always there. So that really, really helped me. Also, going back real quickly to the scheduling your posts. If you can do this for personal, you can do this for work where if you have to be on social media for a purpose. I call it batch working. A lot of other people do as well. It's this idea that when you sit down and you do all the posts, you create all the posts at once instead of opening up your app, figuring out like, oh, I want to post this photo, and you're sitting there on the app, on your phone, kind of creating your captions. You can sit down at a laptop, someplace that is more conducive for focused and good work environment. You can sit down and all at once do batch working. So not only are you saving yourself maybe time or the chaos of being on your phone trying to make all these posts, but you can sit down all at once and actually create a plan for how you want to push forward your social media marketing or just your posting. It allows you to be more efficient and also to just make better posts in general because you're sitting down looking at things a little bit disconnected from the thought of, oh, what are people going to think when I press post, to what do I actually want to put out into the world. It helps you be intentional. It helps you work more efficiently. So batch working, do it all at once. Maybe you take it week by week. I could never do more than that. I know some people sit down and schedule out all their posts for a month. That just was like hours and hours of work and felt like I wasn't really getting anywhere, but week by week really helped me. So something as simple as that. And I think the last thing that I did was, I know that people with smartphones use them for your alarms, but to have your phone next to you when you wake up, even if you're not scrolling social media when you wake up, something about just having the phone there with the first thing you wake up is maybe you see text that came through, maybe you see other app notifications. You're no longer able to just sit in bed and be like, oh, here's my morning. Lord, where are you? Where am I? Where's my heart today? What's going on in my day? Like, you're automatically drawn into someone else's world when you get notifications, and that's the first thing you see in the day. So I highly suggest getting an alarm clock. Yes, I had to go out to a store and find an alarm clock. I just recently upgraded to an Echo, like the Amazon Echo, which is awesome because it's got a cool screen and stuff. That was kind of like my treat. I got one on sale. But whenever you use an actual alarm clock and you put your phone into another room, it just creates that much more space for you to start living your life and be attuned to what the Lord is speaking to you that day and in that moment, in that quiet morning time, instead of instantly being there on your phone. So I leave it in my bathroom, charge it overnight, have my alarm clock. I've done that for the past 2 years now, and I absolutely love it. Highly recommend. Those are all of my main suggestions for how to create more space between you and social media and just your phone and the rest of the world. If there's things constantly trying to come at you, the noise of the media, the noise of the news, the noise of just all the things going on in the world, we want to pull away to a degree that maybe doesn't look normal anymore. Sure, it's normal to constantly know what's going on in the world, but that may not always be the place you need to be. So whenever you begin practicing some of these practical things that I shared with you, you'll begin to actually recognize when is this too much? When have I been on social media too much? When have I been on my phone too much? Because it's no longer the norm where you have no boundaries and you're on there all the time. You've created a new standard for what stillness feels like. You actually can acknowledge, when do I feel quiet in my heart and when do I start feeling clogged up, Lord, and I can't hear you so clearly. And then you can decide to pull back away again and reestablish your quiet, reestablish your peace. It's so important to be at peace. That is our place as Christians. Even when the world is crazy, your inheritance is peace and your strength is found in joy. So I bless all of you ladies. I hope that this was a helpful informational video, and I will, I guess, not talk to you soon. I don't know what I'm saying. I bless you. Have an incredible rest of your first 21-day experience and beyond.